What's up, you guys? It's 2Bricks, and I have a new video today for you. This is a review slash mock comparison. I built a mock of this set before the official one was released. It's been out for quite some time now, and I just wanted to give you guys my thoughts on the official set here as it appears, and then also near the end just do a little bit of a side by side. We'll take a look at the kind of scales and the different parts and things like that, and techniques and things of all that sort, so that'll be fun. But yeah, primarily I just wanted this to be a review of the official set because I am a big fan of the source material that this is based on, and obviously I was going to get this set and I wanted to share my thoughts on it with you guys. So before we dive into the review, I just wanted to quickly say some folks have been wondering if I'm replacing the old kind of mock focused central theme of my channel with a kind of more review based content going forward, and that is absolutely not the case. Mocks just take a lot of time, and I don't have a lot of time right now, and since I continue to buy Lego sets, I figure I may as well, you know, if I'm going to build them anyway, I may as well review them and share my thoughts with you guys so that you have something to watch while you wait for me to, you know, hurry up and get new mocks made. So that's definitely not going to be changing anytime soon. This is just a kind of supplemental additional thing to include on my channel. So hopefully you guys are getting a kick out of the reviews as it is anyway. And yeah, more content means, you know, everybody wins. So all right, so that's it. On with the review, and let's just get into it. So this is obviously the Mandalorian's modified N-1 Starfighter. This is a set that has 412 pieces, and it's actually super bulky and huge. I didn't realize that this was going to be quite this big. I really couldn't envision the size until I had it in my hand, so that's pretty cool. And yeah, this is obviously the main ship. These are the figures that you get here. You have a Pelimoto, a Mando, Din Djarin, obviously a Grogu, and a BD droid of unnamed designation. So that is absolutely fantastic. This is the piece of the whole set for me. I absolutely love and want to get as many different BD droids as I can. This is the spent sticker sheet, of which there are only 3. Those were put to pretty good use, I feel, and those are, you know, fairly easy to apply, so that's nice. And here are the spare parts that you get. It comes with a brick separator. You get a bunch of little useful things, some extra bolts for your bottom mounted cannon there, and I'll be showing you guys those pieces up a little bit closer later on. This is the instruction manual. It's funny, I was just recently praising Lego on their instruction manuals for how incredibly thoughtful and detailed the artwork has become, and then they went with a super stripped down, back to basics, just a straight up render of the ship. Not an especially realistic one either, which I think is pretty funny. It's like very, very plasticky looking. So yeah, that's kind of funny. And you know, the really basic white with the subtle design there. I don't hate it. It's definitely just a choice, and it's totally fine. But I just think it's really funny that, yeah, the moment that I start praising something from Lego, they go and change it. But yeah, so standard instruction manual, very, very easy to follow as always, of course. And nothing special in terms of, you know, you're not getting any facts or anything about the ship or you know, unique artwork, just a standard manual, but I thought the cover was worth mentioning. But yeah, so that's that. The box does have some nice artwork on it though. I like very much the rendering on this a lot better. So that's cool. I like the Tatooine background there. Yeah. All right, and as for figures in this set, we have a fantastic inclusion here with Pelimoto. That is one of the more fun characters that we've been introduced to in the more recent canon. She's a lot of fun on the show, and I think that getting a figure of her was unexpected, but very cool. I like that she has the kind of 1980s Sigourney Weaver hair there. That's really nice. I really like the very kind of utilitarian overalls and the utility belt that she has there, and there's actually a spare one of these included in the spare parts there for the dark brown color of the utility belt. Very, very, very cool. I like her little wrench as well. It's a fun accessory, and it really looks like she could beat a womp rat, you know, that's harassing her with that. So she does come with an alternate face, which looks very reminiscent of other faces that we've gotten. In fact, I think it might be, yeah, this looks like one of the more recent Harry Potter professors. I can't think who right now though, but I could be wrong. This might be an original face, but it looks really cool, and I like the expression, and I think that it works really well for the character. So there's Pelly. You got Din Djarin here with, sorry about this, buddy, I had to show the people your face. But yeah, he has a face now. He doesn't just have a black head, which is fantastic. No hairpiece, but again, that's totally fine. You can just you know exactly the hairpiece that will fit on this. It's that brown, slightly tousled, short hair piece. You know, that's totally fine. This actually looks like it could be useful for so many different characters, which I absolutely love. This could be anybody from a Jack Sparrow, a Will Turner, to a a character from the superhero line, or really any sort of generic, gruff, bearded character there. I think would be absolutely perfect. And this is a fantastic headpiece. I really, really like it, and also the new color as well. That's a big deal. So we have a new skin tone that Lego is working with in the palette. So I really like that. He still has the controversial, I guess, kind of more stubby helmet with the printing that's a little bit awkward for Mando. I personally like it though. I think this is a really good Legofication of this particular design, and it's never bothered me. So yeah, it's just my feeling on it. He has the incredible, fantastic detailing with all of the straps and the ammo pouches and the bandolier and the shoulder armor and the little signet there on the side with the mud horn, the the little kind of braces there for his wrists. I mean, it's just a fantastic piece. I think people get too caught up in talking about things like this Darksaber, which I will get to, and they don't really stop to appreciate just how incredibly detailed and wonderful this looks, and how many layers of paint application there are on here to achieve this look, and how crisp it is. So yeah, absolutely stunning printing on this, and I love it. So yeah, that's great. And he does come with his jetpack in the gun metallic, what is that called? Gunmetal gray. Yeah. So yes, people hate this. I get it. It's a Darksaber. It's not the Darksaber. It's a black lightsaber, and I can see why this frustrates a lot of people. It frustrates me. I think Lego already has the pieces in their inventory to just put a black samurai sword blade onto one of these hilt pieces and make it a darker hilt color, and then you're off to the races. But for whatever reason, I guess maybe Lego wanted to keep it more consistent with every lightsaber being made of the same 4-long bar piece. But yeah, this is a miss. Everybody's talked it to death. I don't love it either, and hopefully we'll get an improved version in the future. Grogu is Grogu, Baby Yoda, the child, whatever you want to call him. He's the same one that we've gotten so far, and he looks great still. So no need for a costume change on him, since he has not really changed costumes much over the course of the show. Maybe we can get one with the little Beskar chainmail at some point. That'd be really adorable. But yes, he's still incredibly, unbelievably cute, so that's awesome. And then we have the BD droid that I was mentioning before, which I absolutely love. As somebody who spent a long time trying to come up with a Lego design for a BD-1 for my Stinger Mantis set, it's so nice to finally have this piece in hand. I love the little antenna. I love the printing on it. It really shows the different facets in a way that is like far more detailed than it needs to be. And yeah, I think the only thing I could really ask for is the kind of more detail-oriented printing here for the little front, that section that's indented there for his chest. Maybe we could get some detailing in there, but I mean, other than that, like, what more can you really ask for? This is incredible. So yeah, I absolutely love it. It just does connect to a stud here with the single anti-stud on the feet, and it has a bar connection here on the back, so Mando can be stabbing him with his lightsaber, or he can be, you could have him on one of those clear bar pieces that look like he's jumping through the air or something like that. So I think that was nice that they did give us that. And this will also receive a regular studded connection as well. So like I'm demonstrating here, you can have Baby Yoda riding BD-1 around like he's a horse, which is fun. So yeah, excellent selection of figures. Really, really happy with that. The Darksaber side, I think that the amount of work that went into producing these figures is fantastic, and I'm a big fan. So aces on that. Good job, Lego. As for spare parts, we have a couple of pearl gold pieces here. We have the bar and the flower piece. A couple of regular little 1x1 cheese wedges and plates. One of these super valuable, the bar with the stud on it, which I love. Can never get enough of those, and the brown inkwell piece, which I like too. But yeah, the two blaster bolts are technically part of the set, but there's nowhere to put them, so I count them as spares. And then yeah, the utility belt here in the dark brown. Hey, I love that. Absolutely great. So there you go. Not a huge array. You know, you have two different color lightsaber hilts and some useful little bits in there, but overall, a pretty good kind of standard selection of spare parts. All right, so the ship itself. Firstly, you can disassemble Mando's lightsaber and take his jetpack, and you can place them in this little hidden compartment in here, which is a nice little feature. So pop that off. It's just a very, very simple 5-part build there for that, and you can kind of dump all these accessories into here. I don't love the fact that there's so much color poking through here. There's pink, brown, tan, blue, all kinds of colors, lime green down here at the bottom. But I do like the fact that I now have those parts in those colors, which I can use for other things that are not this. So it's kind of a trade-off. And it's on the inside, so it's really not doing any harm to anybody. And the lid fits on decently well. You have to get it at just the right angle. The pieces will sometimes shift around in there and make it impossible to close. But yeah, pretty good. We have the underside torpedo launcher here with the kind of top engine detailing here acting as a actuator for that. So that's really cool. I was actually really, really pleasantly surprised to see that they put in a remote actuator for that bolt down in there, because that's just a clever thing to do and a good use of something that was added to the ship, being this exposed engine piece here, and it just made good use of that, so really nice. I like the look of the cannons overall. I don't love this piece here for the front, although I'm kind of torn because I'm really happy to have this piece in gray. This is really nice looking kind of cockpit windshield, and probably a very, very useful piece for other things in future. But I think the angle feels off. The shape of it feels off. And while I'm talking about shaping, actually, I think the overall proportions are pretty good. This feels a little bit sharp to me, the angle that this all comes in at, but I really like the fact that they got the two angles here for the wing. So the one angle cutting back in, and then this more steeper angle here at the front than what they used to do for the old Naboo Starfighter sets in the past. You have your exposed engine details, which are slightly asymmetrical. So really just the addition of this piece here and a couple of slightly different side detailing here. So like this piece versus on the other side you have the megaphones, so that's cool. And then on the side here you have the kind of bars that run along the bottom of the engine, so that's all very nice and fairly accurate. The shaping under here is okay. It's a little bit basic, it's a little bit boxy, but I don't hate it. The engine, again, this is another thing that's been kind of talked to death. Mine is actually oriented incorrectly because it falls off all the time, so I always end up putting it back on incorrectly. But yeah, this particular brick doesn't have a ton of clutch power due to these little cuts into the side of it, but it's a very useful piece because you can plug in this Technic axle into the center of it, because it has a hole in the middle, so that's why they used it. But it doesn't have the best clutch power, so this will just constantly want to get knocked off every time you hold it. So that's a bit of a bummer, but the rest of it is really solid. So you want to basically hold it, not touching the engines, hold it from around the side. You can switch it from back here, it's fairly solid. But also this section here tends to be, this back part wants to pop off, so you got to be careful of that as well. So basically I think your best bet is to grab it right here. There goes the engine. Yeah, grab it right there, or just from underneath, or from like the top sides here. But it's okay, you know. The thing is sizable. It's actually so much more sizable than I realized when I looked at it. I think I might have mentioned that earlier on. And I think that it is what it is. You know what it is when you're looking at it, but I don't think it especially captures the specifics of the design. And it's kind of a tricky thing because they did call out most of the major elements of the design. There are yellow little bits here and there. There's the bubble cockpit for Grogu. You know, it's got all the things in it. It's got the little exposed bit of the frame there, but there's just something about it that doesn't quite line up for me. I think a large part of it is because this section of the body is so lengthy, and then the cockpit sits so far back from the engines. It just, yeah, I don't know. There's something about that feels a little off to me. And also the way that this all comes together at the front doesn't quite gel from my eyes. But I think from an objective standpoint, the designers did do a good job of attempting to capture at least all the broad strokes of what's in the ship. And then for the cockpit, you can place your Mando in there, obviously. And there he sits. So he's got a little Just a little standard, I'm just going to take this off. It's got the little standard piece in there to capture his legs, and it's got the stickered console piece up in the front here, which has the kind of three circular detail on it, and the little kind of power charge up bar. So that's a really nicely detailed sticker. I really like the look of that, and it's gone. Okay, I got it back. So yeah, place this back in the cockpit here for Mando to be able to pilot the ship with. Unfortunately, that is the only kind of controlling indicator there of anything to pilot this ship with, but at least there is something in there, so that's fine, I guess. He's got a brown seat with the chocolate bar used for the headrest there. I like the way that this piece attaches. I think it's very clever to use this Technic kind of attachment piece here with the two, what do you call this? The two Technic half pins. But it does leave a little bit of an unsightly gap around the back. Though, honestly, when I have this in hand, when I saw the photos, it looked really egregious, but just having it in my hands, it's actually not that bad. It looks worse than it is, and when you're actually looking at the thing from most reasonable angles, you don't even really notice that it's there, so that's not a huge deal. But yeah, let me just place little Grogu in his Grogu seat. So obviously you guys all know Grogu fits in there. Just like on my MOC, you have to open the front cockpit a little bit to close the back one. And then let me just place Mando back in here. So yeah, looking at it, maybe because I'm just so used to seeing my own model of it, but Mando looks so tiny in the cockpit. Grogu looks about right. But yeah, Mando just looks so tiny because of this huge ship. But you know, it's fine. At least he can fit in there. He doesn't have to lean back super far, and I think that all looks really nice. So yeah, I think overall the ship is pretty good. The detailing that they did on these engines is, you know, a little bit extra. It's a little bit above what they needed to do, so I appreciate that. I like the different variety of colors. There's a lot of different shades of gray and silver and gunmetal gray and dark gray, and this new circular piece in here in the light bluish gray, or at least new to me. And of course the inclusion under here of these 2x6 tiles, which we've been getting a lot of from LEGO lately. I absolutely love these and I want more of them. So you know, there's a lot to like here. I do appreciate, let me put this engine back. I do appreciate what the designers did with this set. And I believe, I'm just looking at, there's a little bit of a hole right here. I just want to see, oh yeah, look at that. So it will sit, whoa. Okay, never mind. I was going to say it would sit on the custom stand that I built for my own Starfighter. Actually, maybe this point right here. It's about finding the center of gravity for it though. Oh man. Okay, well that's very sketchy. My fighter is a lot lighter and it's designed to sit on the stand, but this one is pretty heavy, so never mind. It's a no-go on that one. But yeah, I think ultimately, as a toy, it's pretty nice. You know, it's sturdy enough. These engines do flex a lot, so you can't really play with it from the engines, but you can pick it up from the wings. If you don't mind this engine falling off all the time, then you can play with it, and you can just, if you have kids who get frustrated easily, you can just remove this engine. They might not even notice that it's gone, to be honest, and then you can just let them play with it, and it's pretty fine. You know, these, like I said, these can probably pop off fairly easily because they're only attached with 2 Technic pins, but you know, it's okay. This is a good toy, and I think trying to hold it up to the standard of being a collector model isn't really fair for what this is trying to be. So overall, I'm fairly satisfied. All right, so who do I think this set is for? It's billed as a 9+ set on the box, and I think that a 9-year-old would absolutely love this set, and I think kids that are a little bit younger than that might get a little bit frustrated, especially with some of the build techniques. Not techniques, but some of the build itself is a little bit frustrating to put together because things keep wanting to fall apart, and you have to kind of have a little bit more of a grip on it to really get things to click together in the right way. But I think that, yeah, kids 9 and up will have a blast playing with this, especially if, you know, you have them start out with the thing deconstructed as it was in the show, and you have Mando and Peli building it up, and then you take it for flight around in your back garden or something like that, or in your living room, and you can shoot at some targets. They don't obviously have anything in the set for you to shoot at, but at least you can remotely activate the missile there, which I think is nice. So yeah, I think it's a really good toy for kids right around that age, 9, 10, 11-year-olds who saw the Book of Boba Fett, are big fans of The Mandalorian, enjoy the prequels and enjoy the Naboo Starfighter. There's a lot of love there for this particular brand of ship within the universe. And so I think as a birthday present or a Christmas present, this is a nice piece to get. So yeah, I think it's right around, it's kind of hitting right exactly at the target audience that it's trying to get. And I think adult fans will be happy to get the exclusive figures here. The Peli and the BD droid are very, very valuable, and you probably already have a bunch of Mandos and a few Grogus at this point, so those aren't super big draws exactly. But I think the ship is good enough looking that an adult collector who isn't too obsessed with detail and accuracy and hyper focuses on those things would be probably happy to put this on a shelf. But yeah, your more obsessive fans might nitpick a lot of the kind of shortcomings of the proportions and stuff of that sort. So yeah, I think it has a pretty good range on it, and I think this is going to be a pretty popular set. And not just because of the figures. I think it is a decent toy. So those are my thoughts, and let's do the comparison. All right, so I've taken my ship off of its stand and I've just placed it alongside here so you can kind of get a sense for how big they are alongside each other. And maybe it doesn't show up on camera exactly, but this one, the official set, dwarfs this set. I mean, it feels like just a globally scaled up piece. I mean, if you look at like the size of the engines, the width, the wingspan, it just feels like they took this ship and scaled it up uniformly across the board, kept the proportions fairly similar, but just made it huge, and that's cool. I like that. I like that choice. At least it doesn't look too off, because you know it is kind of globally scaled up. My set here, I obviously strive for maximum screen accuracy as far as the proportions and the shapes. I have these sloping in sides here, these kind of cut down and underneath, and there is, I actually really appreciate it, there is a representation of something like that here, which is this little area here where it kind of, the top of the wing sort of cuts across the top, and this does sort of look like it's tucking under here a little bit, so I do appreciate that. That's probably the single trickiest detail. I'm talking about this area in here, the way that this all meets and converges on this ship to capture, I think, and also just the angle of these wings. So they do have a subtle angle downward there, which the LEGO designer did not attempt to capture here. Those are just flat straight across. And again, it's understandable for strength and stability reasons that you'd want to do that. Although I will say, I mean, like I demonstrated in my own video, you can totally play with this and pick it up by the engines. These are actually super solidly attached, so there's nothing really structurally, oh, sorry, I knocked off a piece on the bottom here, but there's nothing structurally about this that is going to fail because they're at an angle. So I think that, you know, there is a way to do it. But yeah, so there was no attempt made on the set to capture any of this kind of internal frame detail at the front here. I have the lightsaber hilt pieces for the tip of the guns, whereas they have this kind of slightly more stubby rounded piece with no indication of like a barrel for that. So I think that's a little bit of a missed opportunity. I think lightsaber hilt pieces would have worked okay for that. Obviously, because this is so much more scaled up, so here this is a 3x3 dish, or a circular tile, and then I have a 2x2, and then the engine pods here are like 4 bricks wide and these are 3 bricks wide, so literally everything is scaled up. But the result is that my Mando looks a lot more, you know, well proportioned in relation to the ship, and so does Grogu, I think. Well, actually I think Grogu and his whole compartment looks a little overscaled on my one. But you know, it's the same exact bubble, cockpit, and regular, you know, windshield piece there. So those are uniformly same technique or same idea for these in both. It's just that because this ship is so much larger, it does kind of help to shrink Grogu down a little bit there. But I think you know, the proportions here work overall a lot better. I have the engine here under mine, which does not want to come off just because of the particular pieces that I used and the way that they're attached, and they have a lot of support right up against the underside of the ship here, so this doesn't want to just flex off. And this is attached with a bracket piece that has the plate on the bottom and the bracket going up, whereas on this one it's the opposite. You have the plate at the top and then the bracket portion coming down, and so what that does is there's no want for it to kind of flex. It's kind of hard to explain, but this bracket piece doesn't want to kind of give with the engine, when you push it up, it just wants to snap off right at that point. So it's unfortunate that that's just kind of a byproduct of the parts that were selected for the engine, but you know, it is possible to get a really solid engine piece under there. Mine does also come with a stand, which you saw earlier on. So there's that. And so that's something that I think Lego sets have been sporadically including sets lately with stands for spaceships and things, like the absolutely excellent Buzz Lightyear XL-15 recent spaceship set. That was really cool. So yeah, I would definitely encourage Lego to do more of that. I really like to see it. They have the blue indication here for the engine burnout, and I have the same thing, but mine is kind of buried inside of the engine there a little bit more. This is a little bit more of just an exposed blue disc, which is fine. Yeah, what else? Oh, the cockpits. Let me give you a little comparison here. So you've seen the one on the official set. So my one has obviously no stickers, because you know, I don't have the ability to design custom stickers. So I have all brick built detail in there with the 3 circles represented with 3 trans blue circular tiles, and then a third or a fourth one off to the top here with the red design. That's to show the amount of turbo boost that Mando has. Oh, and I also have an indication here for a steering yoke, which is a battle droid body piece there. So that is something that the official set does not have. And in general, I have a lot more kind of indications of actual kind of like holes and dents and dings that are kind of more mechanical looking in the set, whereas this one has just sort of more in terms of, like, say this detailing across here. It's literally just a strip that's left blank with no kind of parts to fill that in. You know, you have a lot more kind of simple sort of grills and the sideways grilled slope piece to achieve some of that detail. So it looks a little bit more basic, a little bit more toyish. Mine is striving for a little bit more of a realistic look. But I think overall, they actually do compare fairly well. And then, yeah, I think also Lego didn't include anything here for the wings, and this is a pretty iconic piece of the paint job to miss out on, so that was a shame, I think. But of course, you can easily add a couple of pieces in there. I do like that they went with the flame yellowish orange versus the regular yellow on mine. I did want to stick with the regular yellow and the tan on my one because I felt like it more closely resembled the original paint job of the N1, which is that sort of nice Lego yellow. But yeah, so you know, these are all just choices. I think it's fine. So definitely, I think you're not in bad shape if you get this set. My set actually has 60 or so more parts in it, even though it's a lot smaller. But those are used obviously to achieve that much more slick, detailed look with a lot more small pieces. Here you can also see I've almost eliminated those gaps behind the cockpit piece. They're very small. And the way that I've done that is because I have a 2 wide headrest back here, and that just with the plates on the side, that just much more closely fills in the inner ring there of the shape. So it looks more airtight. It looks a lot more sturdy than the official one does. So yeah, that's just a kind of good kind of overview there, I think. And obviously I'm a big Star Wars fan and a fan of this ship in general. I thought it was really cool that they brought this into the Mandalorian's kind of world here, a little bit of a nod to the prequels. And I think it's really cool that we can get an official set from Lego, and you can also get about 1 million MOCs out there. Obviously this is just my one, but there's a bunch out there, so you can definitely pick your favorite one. I didn't really go into, you know, every single little detail. I mean, the way that the engines on mine are done are just a little bit more kind of tactile and randomized with the different parts and pipes that I selected. And you know, this one's a little bit more basic, but you get the idea. You can kind of see it for yourself. But yeah, there you go. There's the kind of overview comparison of something that I designed on my own independent of the set, and something that a Lego designer came up with. And I think that that's really fun to do. So there you go. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this little review / comparison, and hopefully you guys come back for more, because I'm definitely going to be doing more of these, especially when I get a set that is something I've already built a mock of. I always like to take the opportunity to give you a little look at both. So yeah, let me know down in the comments what you think. Did you get the set? Do you like it? Do you have better luck with that engine falling off all the time? Do you love Pelimoto as much as I do, or do you think she's annoying and boo, everything Star Wars now sucks? Please don't leave me those comments. I don't want to see those. They'll just get deleted. But if you have any thoughts about the set, then yeah, I'd love to see that. So, all right, you guys, that's going to do it for me. I'm going to get to work on the next video. Thanks for your patience with all the content lately. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. May the force be with you.